We know that for many Americans who are burdened with student loan debt, payments are about to begin again. We've had this extended period thanks to the pandemic where thankfully people did not have to pay. Now, of course, they also thought for briefly that they were gonna have their student debt canceled, and that unfortunately is currently being blocked. But in advance of the repayments, there are vultures circling. So student loan companies are encouraging federal borrowers to refinance before that happens. And they're making all these claims about how you can lock in lower payments before you have to start repaying. But if you do that, it could come at a cost that you might have to dig into the fine print to actually know about. So consider this your warning. Many of the federal programs to help borrowers out are not available if a borrower's loans are held by a private lender, as would happen if they took up one of these offers. So look, many people will have a mix of public and private loans, but the refinancing is designed to take either your established private loans you already have or the public ones and repackage them as private loans, which would lock you out of these programs. And some might make the case that that's like the whole reason they're doing it. But here is how it works in practice. SoFi sent letters to borrowers last month with a header reading, "Federal student loan forbearance is ending soon. Don't miss out on savings. Start planning your refi today." And that's great, in the headline, the big text. If you go to the fine print though, it says if you're a qualifying federal student loan borrower, you should still consider President Biden's plan to erase some or all of your student loan debt before refinancing. However, you should also take time now to prepare for your payments to restart, including the opportunity to refinance your student loan debt at a lower APR or to extend your term to achieve a lower monthly payment. Earnest is another student loan refinancer. They also have a thing on their FAQ, on their website, that borrowers who refinance federal student loans should be aware of the repayment options that they are giving up. For example, Earnest does not offer income-based repayment plans, a SAVE plan that we've been talking about from Joe Biden. So it's not that they're not acknowledging it. They're legally required, I'm sure, in the fine print, but that's not what the leading message is. And a lot of people, this is not hypothetical, some people already are now finding they're no longer able to do these sorts of things through no intentional fault of their own. AB, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll just say I had the honor of sitting in a meeting with White House representatives where we discussed the student loan repayment programs. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to pull up my notes specifically for this segment. But I do remember them specifically saying for us to get the message out that do not refinance and do not listen to these companies that are coming to you with that, because there are going to be other options that are available that are more beneficial to you to be able to help with repayments. And also, although private loans and federal loans are different, right? They do differ. There will still be options to help students repay these loans. And also, if you have federal loans, for example, even if you're unable to make your payments right now, there is still like this ramp program that they have that will allow you to kind of get on track without being penalized in the way that you would normally be penalized for not paying your student loans back in a reasonable time, right? So just hold out and be patient, but understand that like the loans in general are predatory, period. So keep that at the forefront, right? Of that, if there's a loan company calling you, it's probably predatory. Do your research first.
There's a good chance. There's definitely a good chance. Yeah, well, look, we need to restart the whole process of trying to have it legalized in some other fashion. I would also say I'm not an expert on this. Don't listen to me. Look it up yourself. But with all that they've jacked up interest rates to try to get inflation under control. How much lower could the APR possibly be? It's likely higher at this point. But anyway, that's just my guess. I don't know.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.